You there. You look like you know your way around... hello. I heard what happened. I see why you'd want to protect yourself. Probably because I made them. Or most of them, anyway. I've already been paid for them. If Volter happens to stumble onto them later, what can I do? You mean enchanted? No. A shield does its job just fine. It doesn't need to be tinkered with. Talk to my sister if you're interested in that kind of thing. She's over there. At least I don't think she's blown herself up yet. I just think... well, maybe. I'm still taller, though. By a hair's breadth. If I stand up straight.
The hunters set that up as a way to earn some extra coin.
A pleasure, envoy. I'm Aldrich, the bounty master of Paradise. If it suits your fancy, check the board for work. The dangerous kind. Some more than others. Speak to me when you've got something to turn in. Hey, someone had to take the job. Ensuring that these threats to the good people of Paradise are eliminated is my way of helping. I guess I consider it my first steps down a long road to atonement. Apologies, friend, but that's none of your concern. I left there for a reason, and now I'm here. And that's all you need to know. Be safe out there, you hear? You're a brave soul, Uncle. Spiders are bad enough as is, let alone big, mean bastards like Nassim. Oh, Octo. That's a dwarf with a chip on his shoulder. Heard he burnt the last ones that went after him alive. Going to take on the ogre then? I reckon he's the most dangerous bounty we've got. Be careful. Tempestuous Luandi caught your eye, huh? Watch yourself. Her aim is as sharp as her wit. Ain't many ways into that camp from what I've heard. You might want to consider trying to find one. A frontal assault would be mighty reckless.
So much to do. So much to do.
You can't be serious. That much for one rack of ribs?
It's the adherence. I'm sorry. Never knew armies ate so much meat. There's barely any left for the rest of us.
I don't believe you. Who can I speak to about this?
The ambassador. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Hey, so close. But what's the point? It's useless without the data.
Step right up. I can tell you need more fire in your life. Or maybe more essence. Please buy something. I'm trying to prove a point. My sister, the blacksmith, she doesn't think this will work out. I say she's wrong. Why keep a dagger under your pillow when you can use a ward stone instead? Because we're twins. She may be older, but that doesn't mean she's right about everything. Of course not. I wouldn't sell you something I thought would kill you. That's not good for business. I did that once. I had to hire a watcher to get the phantom out. I suppose I shouldn't brag about that to a potential customer.
So close. But what's the point? It's useless without the data. Oh, you're a special one, you are. I thought all the godlikes were taken back, wherever they came from. Don't mean a thing by it. I'm glad to see not all the gods have abandoned us. I suppose if you say it, it must be true. After all, you're still here, huh? Luckily, I'm trying to do work for the betterment of the world. That ought to win me some favor if the gods are watching. Very kind of you to ask. Very kind. You're the first to offer to help me in, well, ever.
Sapiento di Falva, alchemist and dreamer, at your service.
My latest experiment was meant to solve the scourge that has come over the local flora and fauna, but it wasn't meant to be. I expected my main reagent to be delivered today, but I suppose the gods had other ideas. Oh, just a bit of luminous adra. Rather valuable, but nothing against the law. You may have noticed, or perhaps not, since no doubt you've been busy, that wildlife here has gone a bit wrong. No one knows how best to describe it, but we can all see it. Something is distorting the life around here, and I hoped to stop it. As you no doubt know, luminous Adra is a more powerful form of the Adra we see out there from time to time. Very, very rare. The gentlemen who are supposed to acquire my Adra have not delivered it, and they seem to be avoiding me, as if they fear my wrath. At this point, I'll take any help I can get. My friends must have lied, or they got the Adra and they lost it. I can't imagine why else they would be acting so strange about it. The people of the Deadfire have been refining luminous Adra for its health benefits for gods know how long. If anything can cure this affliction, that's it. Best of luck with that. I saw them briefly not too long ago, looking shifty and desperate.
They were running around the paradise, talking to other scholars in the area. Ganef, in the Remio, I believe. And an older lady. Don't recall her name.
I'd be very grateful. I know it looks like I'm crying, but it's from the acrid fumes I inhaled earlier. Any luminous Adra will do, he said, as if the stuff were falling from the sky.
Envoy, could I speak with you for a moment? So, you're that godlike, the Adiran envoy. You're the one who saves the ambassador from the strangle root, right? I'm just trying to help some friends of mine. They're Adirans, but they've had a string of bad luck. Is there any chance you could lend them a hand? Oh, heroic and observant, huh? Joking aside, I know this seems strange, but they helped me out when I needed it. I'm just trying to return the favor. A fair request. I was an animancer in Fjord, just through the mountains in Emerald Stair. A lot of Valian animancers came to Fjord to experiment without the restrictions that come from noble patronage. Well, it turned out my high-minded theories were more explosive than I had calculated. I washed out, disgraced. Then I left Emerald Stair and I lost myself in a bottle at the Grinning Ballarok. Lofled and Gladwine pulled me out of it. Galarde. Lofled and Gladwine came here about 8 years ago, long before the recent rush of adherents. They admitted to having a checkered past back home, but they started a new life in Paradis. Back then you'd struggle to find an adherent in the city. Now they're everywhere. Well, let's stick to the matter at hand. Anyway, with all these adherents coming in, Lofled and Gladwine started spotting old faces. And if they were spotting old faces, it was only a matter of time before those faces started spotting them back. They're lying low in the shantytown for now, but they mean to leave for Thirdborn.
Adherents in the shantytown. I doubt they're getting a warm welcome. Most of the people there are Paradisans run out by Adir.
They're afraid to go out in public, and Gladwine, poor soul, he's gone blind from bad drink. You don't need to be. There are herbs in the wilds around Paradis that can restore Gladwine's sight. It's a little too dangerous for us ordinary folks, but for the Adiran envoy, for the hero who braved the strangle root, I'm sure it will be no problem.
Ending with flattery is a nice touch.
Agrasima. Many thanks, envoy. Oh, there is one more thing they need. Land deeds. They've already paid for them. There's a Rawatayan in the Pearl District, Mako, who was handling the paperwork. No. We had a falling out a while back. It's best if someone else goes. Thank you, envoy. God bless you.
Died. But you're here. Gods, am I glad to see you. Still can't believe you're alive. I'll keep trying. But there's not much to be done for Fort Northreach. You've got some god looking out for you.
Envoy, hello. I'm glad to see you on your feet. Kai.
Tej.
I'm surprised they let you in here.
I'm surprised you're still gainfully employed.
I wouldn't say that. He's just curious company for you to keep. It's nothing like that. You run into all sorts of characters around here, is all. Some more polite than others.
Well, Kai? Come on, it's funny. Tej caused a ruckus last time he was slumming it at the Ballarrock. You were trying to kill a man, if I remember right. I had to put you outside.
You threw me into the canal.
You lived.
That water's filthy. I had the runs for 3 days.
Gods, Tej. The Envoy doesn't need to know that.
The fellow cheated me. I couldn't let that slide. Or he'd think we were all marks.
It was over a dice game, right? Tej here has a gambling problem.
Great. Let's air all my troubles. Is there anything else?
The bartender sleeping with your girlfriend.
You're lying.
You sure about that?
We'll talk about this later.
I'm not breaking up with her for you. Just so we're clear.
That's more than enough. Thank you. Was there anything I could help you with, Envoy? The 7-foot-tall Almawa with biceps the size of my head? No, I am not.
Flatterer. You know I'm barely over 6.5.
Naturally, Mom. How can I help you? Inquisitor Ludwig is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradise. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much as prosecute it. As ruthlessly as the ambassador will let her. She's also a veteran of the Steel Garrote's campaign in the Deathfire, where she died.
She's a Death Guard. Well, that explains a lot.
I don't know what happened to her there, but I suppose Wodaka wasn't done with her yet. Has she ever mentioned you? Except... no. Wait. The morning after the ambassador received word you'd been dispatched, I heard the Inquisitor tell her captain that an old friend would visit soon. That couldn't have been you, could it?
The Envoy here has depths you would not believe.
We are living in the strangest of all possible times. Think upon your promises, and die. That's the litany of the Steel Garrote, usually said right before they kill you. They're an order of paladins born and bred in Adir, though clearly they've found plenty of work beyond our borders. Their remit is simple but comprehensive. They punish all who break their oaths. In practice, that has historically meant contracts. One lord or merchant will hire the Steel Garrote to bring a duplicitous rival to justice.
Fun bunch. What are they doing in Paradise?
Since the events in the Deadfire, their operations have expanded. The Steel Garrote has always been associated with Wodeka. Now, they are explicitly her order. And they go wherever Wodeka's priests, or Wodeka herself, believes there is a need for them to go. The Living Lands are a dangerous, lawless frontier in sore need of order. Thus, they are here. Or so the Steel Garrote say. Do you think so? I've always found her inflexibility comforting. Wodeka's edicts are clear. If you obey her laws, pursue justice, punish the guilty, and give fealty to the Emperor, then you have pleased her, and I aim to please. But Wodeka does not trust. She demands that you declare yourself for her again and again. Her every request is a test, and her every test is an opportunity to disappoint her. I appreciate a god who makes you work for their grace. I don't want anything given to me for free. By all means. What would you like to know? If you're looking for a particular year, the first thing you should know about Paradise is that this isn't the kind of place where the locals keep records. And though it might be considered a distant backwater by the rest of the world, this city is the height of civilization by the standards of the Living Lands. As for who calls this place home, I suspect you could find a criminal, confidence man, or prophet from every civilization in the world here.
Hey, come on. You're gonna give the envoy the wrong idea. We've got draft dodgers, courtesans, and revolutionaries, too. You know, all the fun people.
In any event, as far as I can tell, Paradise has been this way since its inception. Thus the eclectic display of architectural styles. If nothing else, this city is a reflection of the countless people who have passed through it on their way to the interior. Depends on who you ask. Ambassador Heelgard will tell you that our remit here is to establish a secure and orderly environment from which to engage in trade. Inquisitor Liudwin will tell you we're here to break the frontier.
So, which is it?
Why not both? That's where you come in. Whether you find your desires aligning with the ambassadors or the inquisitors, neither can succeed until the Dream Scourge is ended. We are only beginning to see its effects here in Dawnshore, but the closer to the center of the island you go, the worse it gets. That bear you and the ambassador encountered in the Strangle Route isn't even the worst of it. And the tide of this soul plague is rising higher every day. Look, for all that I complain about this backwater, there are good people here. Same as anywhere else. People who want to be able to walk to the market in the morning for their bread and eggs and know they won't be mugged. People who like it when the mail comes on time, and their skates are made from real copper, and their neighborhood peeping Tom ends up in the stocks. Those people, good and honest people, who pay their debts and honor their contracts and remember to thank the gods, they like us a lot. The Resistance, as such, are largely a group of misfits and criminals intent on undermining the rule of law. They take out loans with small Adiran banking houses and do not pay them, then assault the bankers who attempt to collect. They agree to contracts with families in Adir seeking homes, and when their ships arrive, promptly abandon them. When we levy a small tax to fund the repair of city roads, they set our counting house on fire. And when our fishermen return to port, they board their ships and sink them.
That's certainly one way to characterize them. It's not exactly wrong, but it's not exactly right either.
For decades, people like them rule this city through fear. We imposed order, and now they oppose us. You, unfortunately, were caught in the crossfire. Of course. There's a lot of ground to cover. Could you be more specific? Ah, the age-old question. Who's bigger? Adir is, naturally, by a wide margin. And were we at the Cartographers Guild in High Crown, I could show you on one of the globes. As it is, we must make do in the theater of our minds. The Living Lands are located in the far north of Aora. Adir is southwest of the Living Lands, situated along the equator. The Living Lands are more arid than Adir, and the island is more prone to storms. But its many deep valleys protect the various townships from the worst of the weather. Topographically speaking, the Living Lands are a place of extremes. Deep inland, mountains rise high enough to rival those of the White March, blanketed year-round in snow. While east of the volcano of Mount Forja is an acid sea that sinks far below the level of the ocean. The lands between them are riven with deep clefts in the earth and isolated by wastelands of sun-baked sand dunes. I'll share what I can. There is no singular authority in the Living Lands.
Not yet, anyway.
I shudder to think what the Living Lands would look like under your rule.
Well, to start, there'd be a lot more brothels.
Charming. Power is invested in the leaders of the various townships scattered across the island. The largest are Fjord, Thirdborn, and Solace. None of which, I will note, are as safe and orderly as Paradise. Fjord Messeverno is located in a valley known locally as the Emerald Stair, named for the terraced rice paddies that cover its hillsides. It is our closest neighbor. The city, if you can call it that, was founded 50 years ago by animancers from the Valian Republics. Apparently, the laws governing animancy weren't lenient enough in the Republics. So the city's founders came to the Living Lands, where they could practice their discipline more freely. Currently, Fjord is governed by a man named Ignacy Vidaro. Rather inept to hear the ambassador talk about him. Fjord's farmers supply most of the grain and vegetables we eat here in Paradise. Or it did. Their shipments have been infrequent lately. Something about a blight in the fields. In any event, I believe that covers Fjord. Everything you need to know about Thirdborn is in its name. It was founded by the third-born children of Rauatai, Navy dropouts, smugglers, and hands for hire. Almawa and Orleans, mostly.
Home, sweet home.
You're free to go back any time you like.
I like my current circumstances just fine, thanks.
They are people, in short, who couldn't cut it in the civilized world, and had to make room on the margins. Unfortunately, they are currently besieged by the Dream Scourge. We have sent some troops to lend what help we can, and the mayor, Temerity, was appropriately grateful, but I don't know how long they'll hold out. The Valian Republics are a collection of city-states in the Eastern Reach, southeast of our former colony, the Deerwood. The Republics began life as colonies of the Grand Empire of Valia, hence the name. But as Grand Valia's economy collapsed, well, the colonies saw an opportunity to escape the influence of the Empire of Origin, and they seceded, much as the Deerwood did from Adir. Now a mature confederation in their own right, the Republics have recently indulged their own expansionist ambitions in the Deadfire Archipelago. Through their merchants in the Valian Trading Company, the Republics will sell you anything you could ever wish to buy.
Up to and including people.
We should count ourselves lucky they've had no interest in the Living Lands. In a struggle between our Emperor and the Republic's great dukes, well, I doubt we would come out on top. But if anyone asks, I was not the one who told you that. Rauatai is one of the old empires, every bit as storied as Grand Valia or our native Adir. If Adir is to the southwest of the Living Lands, Rauatai is to the southeast. And unlike our home, their small continent is racked by terrible storms. This is due, or rather, was due, to the island's proximity to Andra's mortar, the unending super hurricane that once hid the ancient city of Ukaizo. Rauatai is largely peopled by Aumaua, descended from those who fled the Deadfire Archipelago centuries ago, when Andra pulled the moon, Ioni Brather, into the sea. They are an aggressive, militant culture, and personally I find their obsession with gunpowder rather quaint. They are also our chief rivals on the world stage.
I don't think they see it that way.
No?
Well, as far as Navy brass is concerned, Adir doesn't really rate.
Now you're just making things up.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we don't think about you at all.
Solace is, what is there to say, really?
Yeah, they tend to have that effect on people.
The trouble is, I don't know much about Solace. Nobody does. They are an isolationist community of Pagrunan dwarves who live in the forbidding ways of Galawain's tusks. They don't let outsiders into their lands, and they don't let their people out of them.
Some folks get out from time to time, but they can't ever go back. And the ones who survive aren't eager to talk about their experiences.
People aside, the land itself is incredibly hostile. The island's volcano, Mount Forja, rests at the heart of the region, and it's recently become active. Half the land is lava rock, and the other half is, well, literally lava. I don't know why anyone lives there. I have to assume they're all insane.
You have no idea.
Naturally. The Pagrunan are a unique community of mountain dwarves originating in Old Valia. As a people, they've made their name as explorers, builders, miners. No doubt you've seen their ruins in your travels, here, back home in Adir, and all across the world. They maintain a rich tradition of oral storytelling, chanted magics, and ritual carving, which they take great pains to record and transmit across their various communities. Even the most physically isolated Pagrun is not alone. Somewhere, one of their people is thinking of them and planning an expedition. Abidan must cherish them.
You sound like you admire them.
I suppose I do. I'm an open book. I trust whomever told you to consult a watcher also told you to avoid the one in the city. She is a liar and a thief.
Oh, did she take your money?
No. Anyway, watchers are individuals capable of perceiving souls. The soul may be in a living body, or it may simply be lingering, waiting to pass into the in-between. In either case, interacting with a soul allows a watcher to glimpse a person's past lives or their most deeply buried memories. Watchers are incredibly rare, and in Adir, highly controlled. Many people wish to know who they were in a previous life, and do not like what they learn. The smart ones stay hidden. They do not announce their powers, perhaps not even to themselves. Even a careful watcher risks inadvertently revealing themselves by knowing something they shouldn't know. Of the ones that are public, little is concretely known. But we hear things. They make good judges in Wodaka's courts, so long as they're controlled. The lords, it's rumored, buy and sell them to collect blackmail on their enemies. But I suspect many watchers are imprisoned or executed, or simply kill themselves. A watcher doesn't need your cooperation or consent to read your soul. They could learn everything about you, terribly damaging things about your parentage, for example, or things you did in a past life, without you ever knowing. You see how this could threaten the established order, undermine our betters' right to rule.
Yeah, but that's just one side to it. Imagine how a watcher feels, knowing what a threat they are to the status quo. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be keen on kings and emperors wanting me dead. Sounds like a lot of hassle.
Don't sell yourself short, Kai. I don't doubt you're an expert in people wanting you dead.
You're not wrong.
I rarely am, in any case. The Watcher is fundamentally a tragic figure. Of the few that survive our world, most are destined to go mad. I've heard that rumor too. It flits about High Crown every couple years. Some even say it is his Lady Empress. We have no way of knowing whether it's true or not, but I will tell you, Envoy, I don't like to think the Emperor would stoop so low. There's something I find undignified about it.
Well, the Watcher of Cadnua is legendary. It was their castle Aethys destroyed when he began his campaign of terror in the Dead Fire.
Oh, by the Queen, I hope I get to meet them someday. In terms of local interest, you'll have heard of Runed, of course. And there was Ida. You may not know about her. She was a Watcher from the Living Lands. I believe she was an Orlan. She must have died, 150 years ago. Slain by a great serpent, gods treat kindly with her soul.
Doubtless there are others, but
most don't meet a good end. Yes and no. So far as I understand it, a Watcher is born a Watcher. But it takes an event, often something shocking or traumatic, to bring a Watcher's powers to the fore. So you may be a Watcher, or I may be, or Kai, and we might not even know. Of course. Well, you'll notice I'm nearly always here. If that man sleeps, I don't know about it. He wouldn't say, but I believe he relied on the Claviger far more than he lets on. And without the Claviger's steady hand at the rudder, the ambassador's struggling just to bail water from the sinking ship that is Paradise.
Claviger Aemon might have tolerated a little more chaos than the ambassador liked, but he kept this place humming. He's not someone you can easily replace, and not with one man alone.
It's a difficult job. The pressure sometimes gets the better of him. But if he loses his temper now and then, I can't blame him for it. Better him than me. He doesn't know what to do with himself. You know, in our first days here, he'd often walk to the end of the docks at sunrise. The work was done, the embassy was closed, and he'd still be wearing the same clothes he'd slept in at his desk. And he'd just stare out over the sea. He always seemed dissatisfied back then. I suppose, years later, he still does. Be serious. Most of us here didn't get sent to the frontier because we were anybody's favorite. The longer I'm here, the more likely the people who matter are to forget me. And I'd actually like to get back to High Crown someday. Get married, have a few kids, take the civil exams, and settle into a permanent clerkship.
I guess there are worse ways to spend a life.
Like rotting in this embassy. I'm an open book. Inquisitor Ludwine is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradise. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much as... She's also a veteran.
She's a Death Guard.
Should you ever need me, I will be here. Safe travels, Envoy.
Envoy, is it really you? I can't believe you're alive. When they dragged you to Liviana's clinic, I assumed the worst. How do you feel?
and yet you rallied your spirits and reported for duty. Your dedication is admirable. But we'll return to the topic of your untimely demise shortly. Our first order of business is your purpose here in the Living Lands. You said you had a missive for me from the Emperor? Very good. I'm eager to see what our Emperor intends. Now, His Majesty names you a loyal servant of the Adiran Empire, and an extension of the throne's authority. Thank goodness. At least someone understands the gravity of our situation. With that, I have better news for him. You've seen how wild the Living Lands has become, both in nature and in politics. Sometimes I think the island has a mind of its own. No sooner had you arrived than you found yourself at the center of our troubles. Maybe that's all it is, but I'm not leaving anything to chance. This embassy has no shortage of political foes, but the Dream Scourge is what keeps me up at night. You've seen firsthand what it can do in nature. We can't let it reach the cities. Inquisitor Ludwig thinks the plague is a distraction. She's more concerned about these local rebels fighting against the Empire. Your instincts do you credit. They were paradisans once, law-abiding laborers. Now, they're fugitives and oath-breakers hiding amongst the populace. They've sabotaged our work, killed our soldiers, and the final straw, attacked you out in the open. Something about a labor dispute gone wrong, I think. The Steel Garrote got involved, and it turned quite ugly.
A lot of disputes arise because people here have a strong aversion to being told what to do.
I won't lie to you, Envoy. Our position is tenuous. If we can't even defend ourselves, how are we to defend the Living Lands? But defend it we must, for the sake of everyone who calls this island home. Inquisitor Ludwig demands that someone hang for the attempt on your life. These Paradisan rebels must face justice. Ludwig goes where she likes, haunting the Living Lands like a vengeful spirit. She'll reappear when she chooses, and not a moment sooner. Let's make sure to give her some good news for a change.
Not many get a chance to solve their own murder, you know. I know someone who could help. A dwarven tracker named Marius. Kith or beast, there's little he can't find. He's staying at the Grinning Ballarrock, not far from Liviana's infirmary. We just take the main road east to the market, then head down the stairs and cross the canal. Rough part of town, even by the standards of Paradise. I can tell you're skeptical, but remember that you're an outsider here, and a lot of Kith aren't exactly thrilled to see so many Adirans in their midst.
New weeds, a new beast in the tall grass. Predator or mate?
As you've seen firsthand. You could use some local help, especially if we really are after Paradisans.
I suggest you recruit as many allies as you can, but choose carefully. They, like you, will represent the Empire. But before we can send you off to parts unknown, we need assurances from the local healer that you're fully recovered. After all, you survived a brush with death. The health of your body is one thing. The health of your soul is another. We're glad to hear it, but let's err on the side of caution. Remember, the assassin is out there. You have the element of surprise. I suggest you use it. We'll talk more of the Dream Scourge when you return. Until then, Envoy,
How about we start with Marius at the Grinning Balrog? Besides, I could use a drink after all this.
I can't tell you how grateful I am that you survived the attempt on your life. But let's not dwell on unpleasant matters.
Wish that Sawbones would hurry up. I gotta get back to him. No one else is coming to help. Wow, it's really you. I mean, we all heard the Emperor sent a godlike, but I didn't never think I'd get to meet you. You are the envoy, aren't you? I bow, but I think I dislocated my shoulder, and I might have broken some ribs. Is that the lady who brought you back from the dead? Tej, the ambassador's secretary. He told me you got sniped the second you walked through the gate. Thwack! I couldn't believe it. I mean, talk about getting off on the wrong foot. Anyway, don't worry about me. The Sawbones is going to escort me to the clinic any minute. And I'm not exactly in a hurry to see him. Not until I get help from my brother.
If Adir's medics are anything like Rowatai's, we'll hear your screams from 3 blocks away.
Oh, good. That'll be a lot of fun for everyone. My brother, Cadman, and I ran into some trouble exploring a temple north of the city. Bears and traps and gods. What else? The floor collapsed from under us. He couldn't walk too well, and yet our captain wanted to keep going, so he sent me back for help. We're with a team from the Free Expedition Corps. We've seen a lot, but no place like this. I fear for their lives, Envoy. It's built on ruins, and the ruins are falling apart. Because of the roots, you know, and the earthquakes. We're looking for the man who built the temple, someone the locals call the Oracle. He's well, he's like you. A godlike. All the gods but one, I guess? Because this Oracle, he belongs to Aethys. And if the rumors are true, he's the very last of his kind.
Take it from me. Around here, the rumors always have some truth to them.
We just want to talk to him. That's why we went down there. Now my brother's hurt, and my team's in danger, and I'm stuck here and...
Take it easy, kid.
Sorry. Everyone at the embassy's too busy to help me, and I'm worried sick.
Not much. He doesn't get out often. But I've heard he's hundreds of years old and only speaks to godlikes. So, he probably hasn't seen much company in a while. Can't say I blame him. People still fault Aethys for the Saints' War, and that was 25 years ago. If I were the earthly avatar of everyone's least favorite god, I'd go into hiding too.
If nobody wants him here, then he should leave. This Oracle, he set himself up in a godless ruin. Turned it into a temple to Aethys, right? Supposedly, he built the whole place up just to house a holy relic. A bone from Aethys' Titan. I guess they don't talk about our discoveries in the court, huh? The place Aethys was headed in the Deadfire, Ukaizo. There are these enormous skeletons. I mean, they're hundreds of feet tall. Yeda, our captain, she believes these Titan skeletons are what's left of the gods' physical bodies. They used to get up and walk around. And this godlike, he's got a piece of the one that belonged to Aethys. That's what my team is down there to confirm, anyway. Well, If that relic really is what it's said to be, and if it can heal the sick like it's said to do, it can't stay here. Not in some dank hole in this mouldering backwater. Not when it can help our people with the Dream Scourge. Or help people back home who deserve it more. And yet is determined to get that relic, no matter the risks. The rewards are just too great.
But
Envoy, I'm afraid it's a lie. And they're all going to die down there for nothing. Gods, do you mean it? I can't thank you enough. They descended into the temple through a route off the Pilgrim's Path, just north of the city. You'll know you're headed the right way when you see trail markers and rock stacks the Pilgrims left behind. We posted a guard out front, Sedgwin. Let her know I sent you, and she'll let you pass. Well, I gather there were folks who worshipped Aethys. And they'd come to this temple from all over the Living Lands to pray, or be healed, or to ask forgiveness. But Aethys isn't too popular these days, so...
So, most people don't go there anymore.
Right. Exactly. This Oracle, I don't know if he's dangerous, but he's supposed to carry a sword full of diamonds. I'll probably never get to see it now. Especially my brother, Cadman. Don't forget him. You'll probably find the expedition with the relic we were searching for. Whatever that is. Thank you for hearing me out, Envoy.